This episode of Nintendo Pow Block is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn how to support Nintendo Pow Block and the Boss Rush Network, head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/Boss Network and see which tier is right for you. Thanks for your continued support. Hello everybody, welcome to Nintendo Pow Block here on Boss Rush Network. I'm your host and Latte Excited Eddie V. Joining me is the one, the only bossman himself, Mr. Corey Dirrig. Hello, good sir.
Hey Ed, how's it going? It's been a minute since we've done one of these.
It actually has. Yeah. It's going good. I am preparing myself because everybody, when you see this, it will be a day before my birthday, and I will be turning 44 this Wednesday.
He's fired. We don't accept anybody older than 43.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Scat. But yeah, I am preparing for my birthday. I got a new outfit. Also, I have to go to court.
What? Why?
Next week.
What did you do?
It's nothing bad. I actually gotta go testify.
Oh boy.
So, I
what did you do?
I didn't do nothing wrong. The state attorney called me. I got a subpoena. It's nothing bad. But pretty much, yeah, I got to go to court and testify. And I'm gonna leave it at that. I'll explain at another time why I went to court. But the
Ed's in
case
trouble, everybody. Ed's going to jail. Pow Block is on hiatus for 10 to 15 years.
Oh no!
Oh no!
No. Yeah, but other than that, dude, it's been a whirlwind at work. Like, I found out so much information that everybody, just to let you know, my PAX East interviews, my transcribes, they will be coming out. I'm trying to get to a lot of them, but like, I'm getting ready to work at 4 other stores this coming week. And ever since I got back from PAX, I've been working straight, just like 7 days, 6 days here. Like, my schedule has been flip-flopping everywhere, and I don't get off at a lot of places until like 11:30. So getting home at 12 o'clock, I'm like, I'm gonna take a nap, and I end up sleeping during the day till it's like almost time for me to go to work. So, I've literally just been busy. And everything, and I'm going to hopefully celebrate my birthday in the coming weeks and everything. But yeah, I'm just preparing myself for the future and everything. So that's what's been up with me. Corey, how about you?
Just been busy, just doing stuff and trying to fix our internet and trying to just do things because that's something I'm not great at doing, is doing things that are just fun. Which, by the way, I went upstairs like 3 separate times to go get my Switch because it's on the dining room table, and I still failed to go get it. So but that's okay, I'll get it later. It needs plugged in, that's why I needed to get it. But
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've just been busy. I wanted to play games with some people, but like I said, our internet has been I don't know. I had to call our service provider to open up the NAT type because it was strict and restricted, and I need it to be open. So yeah, that was fun. But yeah, I mean, I've just kind of been hanging out and podcasting and working a lot and trying to get guests for the podcast. And we have a few lined up so far, and hopefully, people we've met at PAX and everything. So
Yes.
very excited for. We're recording Boss Rush podcast on Tuesday this week to accommodate our guest. So very
And,
excited. Very, very excited.
and I am off Tuesday.
Mm.
So
Nope, we have too many people.
I know. That is my
Ed's napping all day.
that is my transcribed day. And that is hopefully I can get some spotlight stuff with some people that I met. Like I still got a lot of the cards from PAX and everything that I gotta go through.
I know they're all sitting here on my desk in like 3 separate piles, and I just don't know where to start. So
I know Novelel, this publisher, I'm gonna hit them first, because they're two brothers, and they're the ones that they're like illustrators and everything, and so I'm gonna try to get a spotlight on them. Um, talk about their mom's stories and how they animate and everything, and just have a good discussion about kind of art and how video games played in their life and stuff. Because they got some games on Steam that I'm probably gonna end up buying and playing. Um, and I really want to check that out for it before I reach out to them so I can have some history and talk to them about it. So
nice. Yeah, I've also been trying to my other monitor over here is like sometimes it just doesn't want to work. And so I've been trying to fix that. It's working right now, but it's still like, what's going on? Come on. So, but it's fine. But your stuff sounds way more stressful than mine. So, yeah.
it's dude. After the show, you when you hear the rundown after the show, you'll be like, "Wait, what?" You're like, "Yeah."
Yeah. I get it.
So
I've been there. Been there. Don't want to do it anymore. So, hopefully I don't have to.
yes. So well, everybody, we're gonna get into some housekeeping. You ready, Corey, to do this? It's been a while since we got together.
Dude, I don't even know if I'm ready for anything anymore. I'm going to be honest with you. Man, it's yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. Well, everybody, we have a Patreon. You can check out our website and YouTube. If you want to support Nintendo Pow Block and the Boss Rush Network, you can head over to our Patreon at patreon.com/Boss Rush Network, where you can get our supplemental show Expansion Pass 2 weeks early and ad-free and other perks like early access to other podcasts, voting rights, and more at the tier that's right for you. Again, that's patreon.com/Boss Rush Network.
That's where we're at.
Yes. Well, everybody, it's time for Snacktendo. Hey, Corey, I'm going to start this Snacktendo because I finally got my I got a steakhouse burger from the Milwaukee Burger Company in Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin. It's right by where I go shop with their JCPenney and Target and stuff when I'm up there in Wisconsin. And it's really really good. They gave me like some A1 sauce to throw on it, mushrooms, cheese. It's just like it melted in my mouth. I'm like, oh, this is so delicious. And it's been like almost 6 years that I had them. Where they started in the same place that they're at now, that I went to, and only had it for one, like only had it once. And so I'm just like, you know what? I keep passing this burger place. I know they got a huge, great selection of different kind of burgers, and I just need to order it. So I did, Of course, I got the cheese curds and everything, and that was delicious. I didn't get a drink for them because I was just like, well, I'm by Woodman's, the grocery store, so I just pop in and see what they had. They didn't have that many different drinks, so I just got it like a watermelon Mountain Dew. Um, did a little bit more shopping and seen some rice roni packets, and so I snagged those for lunch for work and stuff when I get hungry. And pretty much been drinking some watermelon Arizonas, and mango Arizonas. Um, had a Kit Kat bar because I just had a taste for one. And that's pretty much it. But that Milwaukee burger is so good, and they had beer battered fries. Was like with a nice tangy taste to it. Definitely with ketchup put on them. Because they just gave me a lot, so I didn't put it like in a dipping cup or anything. I just like covered it all in ketchup, and it's just so good. I just like no. So it's just wonderful. So the Milwaukee Burger Company, they're still top notch and everything. So it was kind of weird because I did a curbside pickup for 'em, and I got in there to get my order, and they never text me or anything. I had to literally call the restaurant, tell them I was there and I was in a certain parking lot. I was just like, this is cumbersome.
Mm,
But she came out, she gave me my food, and I went on my merry way.
mm,
So
mm.
yeah, that's pretty much what I snacked on. Oh, had a handmade pizza from Domino's. Uh Black olives and Italian sausage. Um for it. Really, really good. That really put me to sleep. That really knocked me out. I'm like, yes, pizza.
Mm.
So
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. I too had pizza, Ed, and it was very delicious.
Yes.
Yeah. It was we had a pizza party with the kids last night and a movie night, and so we got pizza and ice cream and cookies and just had a good time last night. So, it was fun. It
That's
was fun.
nice.
Yeah. Um so uh yeah, I had bacon and jalapenos on my pizza and it was
Ooh.
delicious.
No.
Delicious. So, but that's all I got really for Snack Tendo. Nothing too exciting, Ed.
Yeah, I know there are some Cheetos flaming hot limon crunchy chips. I haven't got them yet, everybody. Um, I have a feeling that that would kill me, but I may have to test it for science. I gotta get that and our strawberry hosted cupcakes. I still gotta try that one out. So
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah.
Cool.
So well, everybody, it's time for playing with power. And Corey,
Yeah.
what have you been playing with power?
Mostly Final Fantasy VII. I don't know. I've just been in like this weird mood where like I just didn't want to like I just haven't felt like playing games like the last few couple weeks, probably since PAX actually. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it's been kind of a bummer. Not being with everybody. So, I have been playing Final Fantasy VII though, and let me tell you, old games, man, I just it's so hard to go back to old games, man, because like especially like with the quality of life things that games have
Mm-hmm.
these days, and like so I was playing the other day, and I was finally getting to a point where like, oh, okay, I'm finally like progressing, right? Like I'm out of Midgar, I'm in Nibelheim. I'm learning about Sephiroth and everything, and so I get to this point, and then I'm just like traveling the open world, trying to figure out where to go and what to do and whatever. And I can't find a save point to save my life, right? And so I I found the Chocobo farm, and I realized that I was supposed to go there. And I didn't have enough money to buy a Chocobo because I bought some materia at the town that I was in. So that was like bad decision number 1. Bad decision number 2. I tried to go to the cave, the caverns that you're supposed to go through without using the Chocobo, and I got attacked by this giant serpent monster thing and way over leveled, and I died. So I lost like an hour and a half of progress, 2 separate times because of that. And so, yeah, now I'm playing through. I'm on the airship of the president, and I'm with Barrett, and Barrett is like looking through the window of like trying to spy on Rufus and the other guy that laughs weird. But I need to play the game. I need to finish it because I really want to play 7 remake and Rebirth, and I don't want to be the person that plays it without playing the original. So I'm getting through it. I'm trying, and yeah, I don't know. Like the thing is like I really like the story, and I'm enjoying the characters and that kind of stuff. It's the act of playing the game that I just am like I mean the RPG battles stuff is not
Yeah.
what's bothering me. It's the like there's there's not even any checkpoints, right? Where like, oh, if you die, you just go back to this checkpoint. Um it's the save thing, and like I have to look for this stupid save marker to save the game, and like trying to is that good there, Ed? Does that quench your thirst?
Yes.
um yeah, so like just trying to manage like the materia and trying to like really understanding how that works and who does what best, and um also like not being able to like unequip materia from characters that aren't in your party has been really tough because I was using Barrett and Aerith for a while, and then I'm in Nibelheim, and now I'm with Tifa and Red 13, and I can't get the materia from Barrett and Aerith. And so it's just been like a struggle of trying to find like decent materia. And like, of course, all the enemies I'm fighting are flying enemies, and the only magic thing I have aside from fire on Red 13 is Quake, which doesn't affect flying enemies at all because
Right.
it's, an earthquake. So I don't know, man. It's been tough managing that stuff, but I mean, that's just kind of part of these old school RPGs, right? It's just you really have to pay attention to what you're using and who's using it, and what's good against what, and like relying on those old Pokemon skills is um is helping, but also like the big thing for me is like the two things are managing the materia and the items that are on other characters that aren't in your party, and the save system, which I get. It's a PS1 game. I understand that that's just how it works, right? But like it's not making it any easier. So uh but that's kind of all I've been playing, really. I played I played a little bit of Bat Boy also. The the second and third level of Bat Boy, and that was really fun. I played that today, just for like a change of pace, because Final Fantasy was getting a little frustrating. But that's it. That's all I've been playing.
Okay. Well, for me, finishing up some cases and finish Apollo Justice. I'm playing the third game right now, and I like on the third case. Um, at the moment. I downloaded some demos that I need to start. But I want to talk about a game that I talked with Grayson about last week for what's coming out. And it's called Flight Path Adventures in Veneris. Uh this is from Illogical Games. This is published from East Asia Software or
East Asia Soft.
East Asia Soft, yes. And it's only 9.99. It's running on Unity. And this game is out on Steam. And I actually had to put out a tweet to Illogical Games, and tell them that I have a problem with my Switch version. And they did respond back saying that they didn't handle the port to console. That was East Asia Soft. So they're gonna send a message to them. So I'm playing the game and it does need to be patched. So I'm to let you guys know now, if you see this game and you haven't brought it, do not buy it till you get a patch. I'm playing it with one of the characters and I got to the 7th level. And while it is scrolling vertical up and I'm doing all of this shooting, the level cuts off. So it's like you're over some lava and then there's a line and it just goes black and it stays black. So no more enemies or anything comes on it. And I can't finish the game or make any progress until that level is fixed. And I tried many times and I don't know if I need to delete it and re-upload it again or what, but the game is broken and I can't finish it at all. Um I mean, it's a cool little game and everything. It definitely needs some art asset patches. Like this game needs to look better. There are frame rate dips in it. Um it you're when it's in action you're going fast. If it's not stuttering or cutting up, it feels good. But then if dialogue happens while you're flying, it slows the game down. And then once they're done talking, it'll go back up. I don't know how it is doing on Steam, but the game is a mess on Switch.
Hmm.
And I don't think it's the Switch console at all. I literally think it's the game itself. Like the game needs a big patch. It needs to be fixed badly. And so I honestly could say I spent my $10. I got some points for my eShop credit, but I right now do not buy Flight Path Adventures of Veneris until the game is patched, until you see something happen with that game, because I can't play the game and finish it. And like, if in case if I want to do a review, I can't do nothing because the game is broken. And I've never had a game broken as this. I mean, I had problems with Mad Max on PS4, um, but this one, it's just like, why the heck is a level cutting off? And I don't know if it's the Unity engine or I'm assuming it's the port itself that East Asia did the porting. So I don't think they coded this game right or whatever. But it needs a lot of work badly. Um I did download Death Trick Double Blind, Saga Emerald Beyond, which I those two I need to play. There's just demos. I will get to them. And this roguelike called Little Nova Skion of Paradise I played a little bit of. And then I've been playing the Contra collection. I've been working on Super C, trying to do a full playthrough run on that. I'm trying to work it out so that I could try to stream it on my Xbox. Um, and do a full run of that. And but that's pretty much it. And then Far Cry 3 on my Series X. I talked about how I went back to that game. and I'm out at the halfway point. I haven't fought Vaj yet. That's who I need to fight. Um, but literally, I'm just like I'm halfway through that game and stuff, and truly enjoying it. It's been a while since I played it. I actually beat it on PS3 when it came out. For Far Cry 3. So now this is my first time beating it on Xbox, and it runs good on Series X. That backwards compatibility, like that upgrade, really helped it. It runs real smoothly on the system. So,
Nice.
that's what I've been playing with Power.
Hmm. Nice.
So, um, well, Corey, before we go, everybody, please check out bossrush.net. Our interview that me and Corey did for Robots at Midnight is live for Finish Line Games. Once again, thank you, Daniel Posner, for that discussion. This is the first time me and Corey did an interview together, and I know it wasn't planned at first, but we got into it, so we was into it, so it just felt good, to get through this interview all together and just literally have fun. And hope Corey mode is put into the game. If you want to know what that mode is, you guys will have to definitely have to read the article. So
yeah, I hope they add this little idea in. It would be cool. I think they will, but
yes, I'm super excited. I wish listed on Steam and cannot wait for the Series X version for it. Like, I'm super excited to play this on console. Um, and if the Steam version comes out before console, then I'll play it on Steam. I've never did. So,
if you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dirrig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.
with that, everybody, it's time for Family News. Corey, take it away.
Okay, family news for the family. All right, Ed. So one of the games that we've been looking forward to since it was announced has been Dragon Quest XII, and there's been a lot of rumors swirling about the direction the game's going and if it's going to be a little bit darker. But what we do know, as reported today by, or not today, last week by Bloomberg, is that Dragon Quest XII has reportedly suffered an internal delay as their producer steps down following a reshuffle. And so, yeah, this seems to be there seems to be some shakeups over on the Dragon Quest team. And so, yeah, the let's see. According to a new report from Bloomberg, Dragon Quest's top producer Yu Miyake, who is now 56 years of age and has contributed to numerous Dragon Quest titles over the years, will be, quote, stepping down from the role following delays of the new entry. And as for the replacement, they are looking at Nier producer Yosuke Saito. Seems to be the favorite for that role. So Dragon Quest XII is, I don't know. It seems to be further out than we thought. So,
which I think is fine. Because Square Enix has kind of been quiet on that front with that game. Definitely with Akira Toriyama passing away.
Mm-hmm. I also don't think we need a big JRPG from them right now, especially with, Final Fantasy 16's DLC coming out. Final Fantasy 14's new expansion. Obviously, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth is massive for them, and then you got
Yeah.
Octopath Traveler 2, and coming to Xbox this year, and they've already got a lot out.
I,
So
yeah, like Visions of Mana is the big game
mhm.
that
Oh yeah, I forgot
Square
that was coming.
Enix. Yeah, it's um so story about that with me, everybody, is that I tried to pre-order that on Best Buy, and because that game does not have a date for some reason, on Best Buy's website, it was denying my card for me to pre-order it. So I now have to wait till I guess that game get dated for me to do it.
Hmm.
Because I pre-ordered Sandland for Series X. And that went through, but I couldn't get Visions of Mana um and everything. So I think the big one is gonna be Visions of Mana, uh, that everybody's excited for. As for Dragon Quest XII, I think we need to see a preview of the game. And if Microsoft is going to be working a lot with Square Enix, and or try to get Japanese games on their console, that would be the one that they would show in um their summer direct. Um, for Xbox if they could get it. That would be a big win for them. If not, hopefully Nintendo has it in their Nintendo Direct and show it off. PlayStation State of Play is a big, would be the one to watch also, but if Xbox could snatch it, it'll be a win for them, a big win for them. I think with this delay and this shakeup, I don't think a lot of gamers are worried or concerned because, like I said earlier, we haven't seen the game at all. We only just got the announcement. And I think until we actually see more of a rollout, for where the progress is at with this game, and maybe get a date for it, I think, like you said, Corey, Square Enix have a lot out there that we can look forward to and play. Especially with Final Fantasy 14 and with Final Fantasy Rebirth doing so good, and people getting like completing it now. I think there's a lot of enjoyment that Square Enix is producing. That Dragon Quest 12, people could just like really wait for it until it's time to jump in that bandwagon and play it.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, I agree. So I hope the game does well. I hope it's on track, and we'll see it someday, I suppose. So
Yeah.
speaking of things people won't see by the time this episode airs, Ed, the Super Mario Maker community has cleared the most difficult level, trimming the herbs, or herbs as they say, just days before the Wii U Online service shuts down. So there's this level that they kind of marked as an illegitimate upload. So let me back up here. There was a special quote unquote task force dubbed Team 0%, who managed to clear every level in Super Mario Maker before Nintendo's Wii U online service shuts down. But there is also one illegitimate upload titled "Trimming the Herbs," which the community was determined to overcome. Now, just days remaining, the level has officially been cleared, as highlighted on the game's subreddit. There's a video. It's like I don't know how people play Mario like this, man. It's insane. But uh, you can look up the video of this. Ed, I don't know if you got a chance to watch how crazy this level is, but it's only like a 45-second level, but you have to hit every little thing perfect.
Yeah.
And like not only do you have to hit it perfect, but you have to like grab the key at a specific point or you can't beat the level. And so yeah, it's strange, but you should watch it. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, this is the end. This is the end. It's over tomorrow as of this recording.
Yeah, congratulations to all those people who made levels in Super Mario Maker on Wii U. Um, I'm glad they were able to beat this level for it. And although we now it's kind of a collector's item for players, there still is Mario Maker 2 that people can continue to make levels. I'm glad that a community came together and beat this game and celebrate it. That's such a great thing about gaming when communities come together and work together to beat just this tiny challenge or whatever challenge, and everybody gets to celebrate about it.
Mm-hmm. That's what video games are for, man.
Yes,
Not all of this console war garbage and political garbage and everything else, right?
you're right.
Just have fun, man. They're video games. They're games. that's what that's the word. Game.
Games.
So uh before we move on to the next story, Ed, I'm just scrolling through Twitter here. I have a question for you. You're a huge Bayonetta fan.
Yes.
How do you feel about Stellar Blade?
So I actually watched the demo of it. I watched the full playthrough. So Stellar Blade and Bayonetta are two separate things.
I'm aware, but they're getting a lot of comparison because obvious reasons, I think.
For body touch. I think with Bayonetta is has a look, and she walks a certain way, and she's cheeky about her thing, being a witch and everything. And like Platinum, they know that they're playing around with you know I won't say sexuality, but they're playing around being cheeky. I'll continue saying that
Yeah,
word
cheeky. That's
and everything. And so, but they know that with what the stuff that Bayonetta does and everything, she's powerful and she attacks with her feet and her hands, and she uses her hair to make her outfit, and she gets kind of weapons. When I looked at Stellar Blade, yes, it is a action game, but it's not stylized action. um you have limited time or limited window for to attack, I should say. And I don't think she walks sexy or anything, or yeah, there's gonna probably be a lot of costumes and everything, but she's totally different than Bayonetta. Like, and I think the comparisons is lazy. I think everybody just did that is because it's that she looks sexy to those kind of players, and any other woman in video game history that we're gonna think that's sexy and kind of has that hint of being cheeky will be Bayonetta. We know how she is, but they're not like Stellar Blade is nothing like Bayonetta. There really isn't no comparison. Not with hair, not with outfits, not with the game. The demo is played and stuff. Like it feels like it's a action. It is a action a game, but it's nothing like really stylized or anything. And I think people just do that because it's a lazy, easy comparison.
mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I was just wondering. It looks super fun. Um, I was just I wasn't trying to go into the deep like people being upset about the character design or anything. I was just wondering if you thought it looked good.
well, yeah, it's just I was looking at it and I seen the comparisons, and I'm just like, this is lazy comparison. Like they're two separate. And don't get me wrong, Stellar Blade does look great. Even the character designs and her and what that game is designed to be, it looks great on its own, and it feels like it can stand on its own. It doesn't need no other game for comparison.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Also, another side tangent that has nothing to do with Bayonetta or Stellar Blade. Um, I meant to say this while we were talking about Final Fantasy VII but playing that just really makes me want to like play through Xenoblade, the Xenoblade games. I'm like, I
Yes.
have like so many. For some reason, I'm like in this weird RPG kick that all I want to do is play RPGs and nothing else right now.
Uh-huh.
But I don't want to play more than one at once because you know how that goes.
Yes.
So even though like Final Fantasy 16 is way more action oriented than 7, uh, so I don't know. I thought about playing that too, but it's just like, man, I have so many. I have like this huge list of RPGs that are like that will probably take the next 2 years for me to play, based on how I play games, or the time I have to play games, I should say. Uh, but yeah, also like what also made me want to thinking about Xenoblade also was the producer kind of hinted that there was going to be the next game would be continuing the story of 3. Um, so I don't know. I saw that on I forget what website that was, but I don't know. I really want to play Xenoblade. I have this itch to play Xenoblade and Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts are like the 3
I
series I
I
want to play right now.
I literally can say that as an RPG fan, um, that Xenoblade Chronicle 3 is definitely a must play.
I
And I
heard, you know
and
what I heard the other day? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but you know
good.
what I heard the other day was that Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is Nintendo's Final Fantasy 7 moment, and people just don't realize it yet. Of like how good it is and how important it is to Nintendo, and like how people may look back on it fondly. Like I think it's I don't know. I heard that the other day and it was like,
I actually wouldn't say Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is their Final Fantasy 7 moment. To be honest, if there's gonna be a Final Fantasy 7 moment, it would definitely be Fire Emblem Awakening. Um
well, those aren't.
be,
I'm saying like JRPGs, not like
right.
strategy RPGs.
Yeah, but it still would be Fire Emblem Awakening because of the story, the characters, and when we think of Fire Emblem, uh, Awakening is the one that we all come up with, that we all talk about. We talk about those characters, um, and everything. And so if we're looking at Final Fantasy VII, because Final Fantasy has always been there. And yes, it was on Super Nintendo and Super Nintendo. That series has always been there. It just didn't get the recognition because of PlayStation. And then you got these memorable characters. But Final Fantasy has always had memorable characters. It's just that this one, Final Fantasy, just happens to stand out. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is being recognized as a RPG because of the characters in Smash from Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and everything. Um and but 3 just have it has characters, it has voice acting, it has story. It really has something that you could the stuff that people complain about Nintendo not having, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 provides that and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're looking for a game, some like Final Fantasy became more recognizable because of 7, Fire Emblem became more recognizable because of Awakening.
Okay, well, I guess we should continue with family news now. I just had a couple thoughts, and we covered them.
Thank you.
Uh, Super Nintendo World footage has been shown off of the Donkey Kong Country expansion, specifically the weird minecart ride that they've been teasing.
Uh
And the footage shows the minecart jumping the track. I don't know if you saw that,
yeah, I seen it.
which is this isn't the type of ride I thought this was going to be, but I guess this is I thought this was going to be some sort of roller coaster, but it's clearly not a roller coaster. It's just some like fast, slow ride. But I mean, it looks neat. I'm sure people will love it, and I think the track jumping mechanic looks fun. So, for those of you looking forward to Super Nintendo World and the Donkey Kong expansion, just check this footage out. Looks neat.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. Nothing else to say on that, Ed? Oh,
Nope.
okay. All right, Ed. Our last news story here. Not super related to Nintendo, although Hellblade did come to the Switch, which I recently played on the Switch, and it was an experience. Ninja Theory co-founder and Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice writer and director, and team Antonia Antoniadis has left the company. So it seems he did some early work on Hellblade 2, and he's been gone for a while, and it's just now coming to light apparently. So that's kind of interesting. Um, he also worked on Heavenly Sword, Enslaved, and DMC, which are all games that we love.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, just kind of the story just kind of came out of left field, even though he's been seemingly been gone for a while. It doesn't
It
say
must
for
been
how long, but it just says that he did early work on Hellblade 2 and then left the company.
it must be something contractual.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if I mean when they got bought out, right, from Microsoft in 2017, you would assume the standard to keep the leadership there would, in terms of like getting your I stayed on to lead the company bonus is usually like 5 years.
yeah.
Um and so I mean 2022 would have been 5 years, and if he wanted to start something new, then maybe that's what he did. So I don't know, it's just interesting. So but yeah, Senua's
He was
Saga led
he
by another
he was the
director.
co-founder of Ninja Theory.
Hmm. Yep. So
I wonder how do people feel about that when founders um leave a company that they started. Um
yeah, I mean it's probably not as weird if your studio gets purchased, right?
yeah.
Like the weirder one would be Striking Distance, right, where Glenn Schofield left after the first game and the studio that he founded, right, and like nobody bought them. So what happens, Like obviously they're still making another game or two games, but like he founded the studio, he ran the studio was funded, you know, by it was funded by the PUBG Corporation and Sony, right, for
Yeah.
Callisto Protocol, but like they're not owned by anybody, and he just left. So what do you do?
Right, because he's like they're working like on their next game.
Yeah, it's like they said they have a lot of inspiration from Hades, but it takes place in the Callisto Protocol universe, and it's a roguelite that takes
Oh.
place in that prison. So that's an interesting concept, but also they're working on their next game, which may or may not be Callisto Protocol 2. So I don't know. I don't know.
And I'm assuming they must have did enough good sales uh for that studio to be open.
I mean, it didn't sell as many copies as they wanted it to. So I don't know, but yeah, I mean, Ninja Theory's co-founder leaving, it probably has something to do with the Microsoft contract and getting his money and getting out, right? Like that seems like the plausible idea.
I wonder if he gonna start a new company.
Probably, I would assume. I would assume you take that money that Microsoft gives you after you leave and like
Mm-hmm.
go open a new studio, because I mean he's relatively young. I mean he's in his 40s. Like it's not like he's going to go retire. So maybe he takes 6 months off, a year off, and to see what he wants to do next. And um, because he's not in the US, so he doesn't have to worry about insurance and skyrocketing
Yeah.
costs of living. So I mean, probably could take some time to figure out what to do next.
Yeah.
But that's all the news, Ed. We do have one other thing that was brought to our attention by BossRush.net's Shane Kelly. Um,
Yeah.
he um, wrote an article over on BossRush.net about Nintendo filing a new patent for a swivel port design. Um, so a recently filed Nintendo patent shows a very interesting design which within that seems to be a new dock design, most likely utilized for future Switch console, but it could also be utilized on current systems as well if a retrofit kit is supplied. So in the back of this image that's provided in the article, it's like a little. So I actually use one of these for my computer. It's like a little brick. It's like a little brick like this, and,
Uh-huh.
and it's on like a swivel. Mine's not on a swivel; it just plugs in USB C. But like this could theoretically just be mounted on the back and on a swivel, and you could just swivel it, right? Because like the big issue is like, well, what if my Switch is over here and my plug is on the other side, and you have to like wrap the cord around the dock and like down. It's like a whole setup thing, right? So having this swivel design looks great. And I hope there's more ports on both sides. I think that would ease that up too. Uh, but yeah, it's a cool design. I would check it out. Bossrush.net. Good job, Shane.
Yes.
Shout out to Shane. Shout out to everybody, but mostly Shane on this article. Let's be honest.
Yes.
But what do you think about the swivel dock design?
I like it. It's really cool. I didn't even know they filed this patent or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And now seeing it, I'm just like that. That definitely would make getting ports and stuff in and be able to have more ports
Mm-hmm.
into the system. I like this.
Yeah, it's cool. All right, Ed. Well, that's it for Switch rumor time. It's not really a rumor, but it is a rumor that it could be for Switch 2, so that's why it's there. There's another article that I guess we could probably cover real quick. Obviously, this is the other side, which is where we kind of take a story from another one of the major console manufacturers and try to look at it from a Nintendo perspective. Microsoft. This isn't the right article. Why isn't this not the right article? Anyways, let me back up here. And then Microsoft is apparently using Sea of Thieves as a key game in their multi-platform strategy to see if they should, port any other games of theirs over. Right? It's strange because obviously Microsoft has been in this weird state of, we'll say, either lack of communication or strange communication, or communication one way here and communication the other way over here. And it's, as much as we love the Xbox ecosystem and what they've been doing for games and stuff like that, they are not very good at communicating about their console itself or the games themselves, right?
Yes.
It's been really weird watching this this kind of play out. And obviously Grounded and Pentiment came to Switch, and Sea of Thieves and Hi-Fi Rush came to PlayStation 5. And so it looks like Microsoft is looking at Sea of Thieves, which is arriving on April 30th on PlayStation, it will be a quote key test for whether other games might make their way to PlayStation 5 or Nintendo Switch or Nintendo future hardware. See if these set to follow the release of Grounded on PS5. So let's see. It says early signs suggest Xbox has at least one success porting select Xbox exclusive titles to PlayStation in Hi-Fi Rush. And Hi-Fi Rush apparently scored higher on PlayStation than it did on Xbox, which a lot of Xbox fans are like, "What are you even talking about? It's the same game." Apparently, it does run better though, according to Digital Foundry in some aspects. But I don't really care. I mean, Hi-Fi Rush was awesome. I played it on Xbox. It was great. But what do you think about all this? I mean, do you think Microsoft is going to bring other games?
Well, they said in their business meeting, like podcast, that it's a game by game case.
Mhm.
So this is nothing new about this. About them bringing their games to other platforms. I think because Sea of Thieves had a lot of pre-orders on PlayStation, it's a good sign that more games is possibly gonna come out to these other platforms from Microsoft. Now, once again, like I said, um they're going to be probably bringing games from companies that they brought. Nothing from anything they full on developed, like from ground up. You know, Rare has been brought from Nintendo. They bought ZeniMax. Um, and those games that they came out is from the companies that they brought. And so until we see something from, you know, from the Halo studio or from the Gear studio, anything that they have brought up from Playground and stuff like that, once we start seeing that, then we could see if they're deciding to bring more of their games from Microsoft themselves, not companies that they already brought and stuff. So yes, we probably could see Hellblade 2 on PlayStation later on down the line. But Microsoft already stated that they're looking for games that's been out for a year or older. So they're looking for older titles coming. You know, maybe they put out Forza Horizon 5 on PlayStation 5 and see how that does. Maybe they bring out Flight Simulator. And everything. So it's I think it's a game by game case. This is nothing new. I think if they're gonna use Sea of Thieves as a test, I don't think it's the right game to do it for us for some reason, because I'm like, what are you testing about the game that Sea of Thieves is a online um game that you got to be online to play. Like there's no single campaign really in that game. Now I could see if they was talking about if they was testing it with um goodness, why can I not think of it? We just talked about it. uh goodness, the game we just talked about with the guitar. um
With the good Hi-Fi Rush,
Hi-Fi Rush. I could
the
not think
game with the
of it.
guitar.
I'm sorry, everybody. Hi-Fi Rush. Uh, that would be the testing game because it's a single player action game. And it's something completely different and left field out of Microsoft. Um, that people could pick up and play. That would be the test game. Definitely for, are we going to do more physical sales and digital sales on PlayStation? Because once again, like I stated early, Microsoft games coming to PlayStation, Nintendo is good for us, but a benefit for Microsoft because they got their games already on Game Pass or already on the surface, where we're replacing their development costs by actually purchases for those games. So, not Nintendo, but Microsoft is getting a bigger cut because we're buying their games. We're not playing them on a service. We're physically and digitally buying their games. So I would say Hi-Fi Rush should be the one to do it. Other than that, like Microsoft been doing this. Um, Even just with Minecraft, they've been doing this, and they seen what Minecraft could do just on Switch alone.
Mm-hmm.
So um even with Cuphead, when that came out, people were waiting for the Switch version to buy it. Even though Cuphead did come on Game Pass and Microsoft got some benefit out of it, with people made purchasing it, um, that studio really benefited off of buying, seeing it on Switch and having the sales and pre-orders and stuff. That's what Microsoft want to see, is those pre-orders. Definitely digitally. Not so much physical, because a lot of stores are not, their physical stuff is kind of like getting shorter and shorter. But if Microsoft could see those digital pre-orders, that's a good sign for them.
Yeah. I mean, look, they're Microsoft is clearly in a different position than Nintendo and Sony are, right? Like
Yes.
they're in a position where the Xbox One was the worst console generation to lose, right? Because it was the rise of digital games, it was the rise of digital libraries. Game Pass was their way to change the rules of the game because they were losing, right? And so um I think over the course of the last 10 years, building that digital library, and obviously Microsoft's quote unquote lack of games versus Sony's quote unquote, you know, quality bangers that they keep putting out, right? Like that really destroyed Xbox's reputation, and PlayStation has become the quote unquote premium brand, and Xbox is has been trying to play catch up, and
Mm-hmm.
they just can't figure out how to catch up. And so this seems to be where we seem to be coming to a crossroads of like their Sega moment of like, are we going to bail on consoles? Are we going to be able to try to, and granted, it's different era, different situation, that kind of thing. But like, it is very almost Sega-esque, right? Like, do we go third party? What is our identity? Where do we go from here? How do we maintain our player base while also trying to get some of these games on other platforms to kind of supplement our Game Pass subscriptions, because Game Pass isn't growing? Like, they're trying to figure out all these things, and none of them are quite working the way they want them to. And so, yes, putting something like Sea of Thieves, which is, very quietly their biggest game, right? I mean,
Yes.
it's their biggest game by far. I mean, you look at their numbers on Steam, how many copies they sold on Steam, how many copies they've sold on Xbox, even though it's on Game Pass. Um, like they had something, they've sold something like 30 million copies of Sea of Thieves, which is like 3 times the amount that Halo has sold, probably more, right? Probably
Mm-hmm.
6 times the amount that Halo has sold. And so to get a whole new player base on there, probably two by the time the Switch 2 comes out, I'm sure they will want to put it on there. Like, this could end up selling 50 million units, and that's going to look great for them. Um, and so, I don't know if you should start, if you're an Xbox person and you've invested in this ecosystem, I don't think you have any um I don't think you need to freak out just yet, right? Because um the games they're putting out are not like heavily associated with Xbox, right? They're associated with other I mean, I guess Sea of Thieves would probably be the only one, right? But like, they're older games, it's not Gears, it's not Forza, it's not Halo, um it's not Fable. I think when you start seeing those games move you should be concerned. But also, I don't think Xbox is ever going to stop selling hardware just because they
Mm-mm.
want to be in that space, right? Um,
I,
so,
I I think the thing about it with Xbox, because like even Nintendo went through this phase and stuff, is that Xbox just got to focus on Xbox and the games that they have.
mhm.
Um, I think right now for some of the people, who's saying that Xbox is not winning, which is fair and everything, but I think people who had that um who had that idea of Xbox because of the Xbox One announcement with the always online and all of that stuff that got them in trouble. The people who still holding that grudge and trying to prove that PlayStation is better stuff, all of that needs to go. I think people need to really let that go because they're missing some great games that Xbox have. And Phil Spencer is still and Sarah Bond is still trying to work to make Xbox the best that it can be. And as long as they continue to make it the best as they could be, they're always going to have something going for them. What was different about Sega is that Sega had Sega had a was a different time with the way gamers were, and don't forget with Dreamcast and everything, like the Sega Saturn hurt them from that, so they
Mhm.
used the Dreamcast to recover from it.
Well,
But PlayStation 2 just became a big deal
mhm.
for those people. So Sega had to suffer with what they put out, which is a difficult time because, like I said earlier, is that as much as people talk about the Dreamcast, look how that system along with its games are still remembered.
Mhm.
Unless you are in a PlayStation community, regular gamers are talking about the Dreamcast and the games and stuff they are fond of.
Mhm.
Regular, same thing happened with GameCube. Regular people are talking about GameCube. Everybody want GameCube to come on NSO Online. Like, people are talking about the systems that didn't perform well more than they talk about the systems that did do well.
And it's
Yes.
so funny because, like, I mean, it's the same way that PlayStation people talk about the Vita, right? Where, like, the Vita was a great little handheld machine and nobody bought it,
Mhm.
right? And so people are like, "Oh, I need a Vita now." And it's like, "Well, it's too late. You should have bought one when it came out." And I understand, like, the memory cards were, like, overly expensive and just stupid, but um, like the GameCube, everybody wants GameCube games, like, you should have bought it when it came out. And, like, I understand, like, maybe people weren't old enough to buy one, or, like, but people our age, right? Like, you could have bought one,
Right.
I just, I mean, I got one for my birthday and I loved it, and I got Luigi's Mansion and Pikmin and Tony Hawk 3 and the orange controller and a memory card, and I was set. And it was awesome. Uh but yeah, I don't know, man. It's just Sega, like, comparing, like, going back to the Sega thing, like, yeah, the Dreamcast was a great system stuck in between the failures of the Saturn, like you said, and people anticipating the PlayStation 2 because the PlayStation was so popular, because the Saturn sucked so bad. Um,
Right.
and also the PS2 had um, had the DVD player in it.
Right.
And obviously the Dreamcast and the GameCube did not, and that was a big deal back then. I mean, I think that's why Xbox ultimately outsold the GameCube too, is because it also had a DVD player in it, and Halo, right? I mean, those were I mean, you had to buy that dumb remote to make the the
To
DVD
make the
player,
player.
but it
Yeah.
still was like, oh, well,
And the DVD at that time, because DVD players were expensive at that
yeah,
time.
they were,
My first DVD player was like $300 some.
yeah. I mean, my first DVD player was the PS2, and I remember, I
Right.
mean, I bought DVDs before I bought games. I bought the Matrix, and I bought the replacements, and I bought something else. But, like, yeah, and then I got the bouncer and Madden
Mhm.
something whatever year it was that year, and the rest is history, right? Like Final Fantasy X and
And
Kingdom Hearts and God of War.
and that and that's why Tuesdays for movies like DVDs just blew up. Like once DVDs started becoming more available, people who would go to the movies, if they
Mhm.
missed out on a movie, they would give it on DVD.
Yeah.
And everybody was always searching the paper, um, and everything, because DVDs at that time when it was coming off sale, they were like 19.99 or 14.99. And people would get those DVDs on sales. Why do you think Frozen sold them the way that it sold? Even before, Blu-rays be starting to become popular. The most was buying the Frozen DVDs like crazy almost every week
Hmm.
when it after it came out.
Hmm.
You know. Um
Yeah.
so I but yeah, I just think Microsoft needs to continue doing what they're doing. Um and then just what I do, I will say this: what I do give it up to Microsoft, and it's not even Game Pass related, is that they are bringing out new IPs. They are trying to be diverse in the genres in the games that they
I
bring
mean,
out for the system.
they've got 30 games announced. Like that's insane, like uh I don't know. I think one of the major things that Xbox did that was really interesting and very bold of them was admitting that they've lost and they're trying to figure out what they're doing next, right? Like,
Hmm.
and that's going, I think, admitting not their failure, because Xbox is doing better than it has ever done, right? In terms of
Right.
revenue, income, and IP and studios. Obviously, they have a ton of studios now, and um, I think yes, they are going to have to look at bringing some of their games to other consoles. I think you leave your heavy hitters on your own platform. I think Halo stays. I think Gears stays. Obviously, Forza will probably stay because you're not going to compete with Gran Turismo on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Fable, I think, depending on how well this new one is received, like that stays. I think a lot of the best Bethesda stuff will end up moving over, right? Like Doom and whatever the next Doom and Wolfenstein games look like. I bet those end up moving over. I bet Indiana Jones moves over at some point. Um, I don't know. I think Xbox is just going to be a way to play Microsoft games and your Game Pass box, because Game Pass is not available anywhere else. So the main draw will be the Xbox, right?
Well,
And
and PC, everybody.
yeah, but nobody uses Game Pass on PC. Like they're all just going to buy the games on Steam and put them in their Steam library.
Yeah, yeah. But
Um,
I think I'm just thinking of it generally, with just Game Pass. I'm just
yeah,
not thinking of the console.
no,
I'm thinking of console and
I
PC,
know,
but just the service itself.
I know. And it'll be interesting if that handheld Xboxes that's rumored will end up coming out and competing with Nintendo in some way.
Hmm.
What I would like to see them do is like not quote unquote not partner with Nintendo, but use Nintendo's device to put Microsoft games on in a real meaningful way, But
Right.
whatever,
And
it'll be
and
interesting.
Nintendo doesn't. And I could honestly say, Nintendo doesn't see their console stuff as a loss. Yes, they didn't hit a big number with some of their consoles, but you can't deny that for failed consoles, that people still want to play the software from those games.
I mean,
And
the
even
Switch
though
is
you want
built
to
off
play,
of the Wii U. I mean, everything from the Wii U made it over except for what, like 5 games, 5 important
yeah,
games, I guess.
yeah, and stuff that was even just on GameCube that came to Wii U
Hmm.
and stuff. Like it to call Nintendo consoles a failure, meaning that you have to include their software. And without a shadow of a doubt, their software has always been strong on their consoles. The N64 and Retro Boy is a whole different topic, but those games are, well, Retro Boy is really is really questionable in this discussion. But like the N64 got hits and everything that people can't wait to see on NSO come out for the system. But like GameCube and Wii U and even some Wii titles and stuff, that it's that software that's been so good. Like even just the Wii opening the music on the Wii, the voting thing on the Wii, the getting the news. Netflix became what it is because of Wii, in a sense, in DS and 3DS. Like when they went to that streaming route and stuff with Netflix, and then Hulu went. That's how those streaming services came out because they were big on Nintendo console. Yes, they went to other consoles and the picture quality became better and stuff. But like Netflix didn't really get popular until that mug hit Wii.
No, I would say it got popular with Xbox 360 because that's where it was first.
I don't. I
Without the
remember
disc,
more on Wii getting it. I
it's
think. I
because you
think.
didn't have a you didn't have a 360,
But yes, I didn't want that.
so of course you're not going to associate it with it.
Well, I think it's because I didn't see a lot of people talk about uh Netflix on 360. I think once it came to Wii, and I think it's people just using the remote, and it may be just something me, a personal thing. It's just like once I got Netflix and started using it and everything, I just started seeing it getting popular, and then knowing that I could do the cross pickup with my 3DS and stuff. Um, I was just like, yeah, I'm so good to go. Trust me, Netflix and Hulu on my Wii U was getting used a lot. I was watching a lot of Law or Order on Wii U, do the gamepad, and stuff. I'm not ashamed to say it and everything, but I just think like the stuff that Nintendo has gone through, the stuff that Microsoft has is going through, the stuff that PlayStation has gone through, even with PS3, it's like those systems are not failures because those are they have games that people want and they want to play. It may not surpass something that they previously held, but it's not considered as a failure or anything because to call something a failure you have to include those games, and without a shadow of a doubt a lot of those games on those platforms have sold well and is still doing numbers that people still want on their current platform, whether they stream it or whether they're buying it new or it's backwards compatible. People still want those games, so I don't consider those systems as failure. Like what Microsoft is going through now, it's just something that there is a new business avenue that they're trying to figure out. That's all to it. Nintendo had to do the same thing. They had to figure out a new business avenue. So that meant like um uh um being allowed to play Japanese games on their systems. Um, having indies being a big thing on Switch, just like it was on Wii U. You know, making sure that they have a strong first party library, working with other partners to bring games to their system, whether it's first party or it's a third party exclusive or console release and stuff. You know, the stuff that Nintendo went through, they have done a phenomenal job during the Switch area of getting games out because some people already had their doubt that Switch was going to fail out the box just because of the launch library. 7 years later, and look at all the amazing games that have came out in that. So look how limited run and 8-bit and all of these other publishers and developers have been thriving because of Nintendo. For a company that everybody wanted to go third party and wanted to fail because of their launch library.
Yeah.
So I think Microsoft is going to be all right. They're gonna Microsoft is thriving, and they're gonna figure out what to do to really make them thrive more.
Yeah, I think. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, whatever their decision is, right? I mean, people who want to play their games are gonna find their games, right? And
Exactly.
if as long as they're great games, like somebody will find a way to play them. So
I, as much as I support Nintendo, I support Microsoft too, and I support Sony. Like I'm here for video games. I'm here for gaming.
I'm here to have fun, guys.
Yes, it's just that
Fun,
Nintendo's just my main console, and I am the captain of
fun,
Nintendo content.
fun. All right, let's get into what do we call this section? Pack watch. There we go.
Yes.
Gosh, I'm uh why can't I see this? Why did this zoom out? Okay, here we go. On 4-9, Ed, we have Botany Manor. Botany Manor is a first-person puzzle game set in Victorian English manor, and it's 1890, and you play as a botanist, Arabella Green, who is working to finish her botanical research book, Forgotten Flora. Explore a complete historical English manor and its grounds, researching how to grow rare plant specimens from seed. Uh, on 411, we're getting two games. One's called Let's Revolution. Let's Revolution is a Minesweeper inspired roguelike puzzle mashup about stopping a comically narcissistic king from exploiting the land of Bee Bomb. Flip the tiles to uncover the hidden path to the king as you face off against deadly minions while seeking out the skills and items needed to dethrone the king. And then the other game we're getting on 411 is called Slave Zero X. Slave Zero X is a deep brawler that rewards players who take the time to understand all of its systems and then mix and match attacks and abilities depending on the situation. Bosses are difficult and the game has no difficulty toggles, although investing in biomecha upgrades can help. Cool. Neat.
I think I played Slave Zero X on Xbox. That game is weird.
I don't really know what any of these games are. I did see an article on our website about Botany Manor, but I don't. It doesn't. Not gonna lie, it doesn't interest me. None of these interest me. No, give me Paper Mario in a month and a half, and we'll be fine.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying, man. That is all I am saying. So, but that's it, Ed. That's it. That is it.
All right. Well, Corey, we have come to the end of the show. Do you have any final thoughts?
um, not really. Just it's been a really weird few weeks, and I don't know, this post PAX, like they always call it post con depression, is like it's hit me a little bit harder than I thought it was going to, and it's still like lingering, and it's kind of like making me angry that it's still lingering, but I can't really help it. But I don't know, it's just a weird thing going on. So I don't know. I'll get out of this funk. It's just gotta make my way through it first. So it's fine. I just miss everybody, you know.
Yeah.
I miss my friends. My friends.
I, s- I can honestly admit I still watch all our videos with us together, just the whole team.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just it just puts me in a happy place. And I've been telling people at work, uh, that I'm like, it was just so great to meet everybody and to have this opportunity. And like this is something we thought would never happen, but it did. And I mean, of course, we crushed it. Like, I think we handled it everything well, but it just really showcased how much of greatness of a team that we have.
Mhm.
Everybody who writes, um, everybody who podcasts, like it's a great feeling to meet those people in real life and just and be around them like you know them for years
Mhm.
and everything.
Yeah. I mean, technically we have though. I mean, but like it's just different when you're with people, and like
Yeah.
I think the way the internet works now and work from home and like the pandemic like changed our perception of working and
Hmm.
being with people, and like it's just it's just better being with people. And like I'm not someone who like really likes to be around people unless I like really like you. And so I don't know, it just felt right. Like it just felt like I don't know, it just felt like we were all supposed to be there.
Yes.
So, but I'm not going to get all wishy-washy right now. We'll talk about it later.
Yes. Well, everybody, my final thought is if Nintendo has this rumored Nintendo Direct in April, we'll definitely be covering it. Um, I don't know what they're going to show. I, I, I'm, I'm literally at a point where I don't know what Nintendo's going to do.
Yeah.
And
I didn't
once,
even know there was one rumored for I've been
yeah,
so not
people
paying
rumored,
attention.
yeah, yeah, people rumored that it was going to be since we got the partner direct in February, I think, a fully realized Nintendo Direct from Nintendo themselves is going to be out this month.
Mm.
That's the rumor.
Oh.
Um, but who knows? But I'm still at a standstill. I just don't know what Nintendo themselves are going to do at this point in time. Metroid Prime 4 is the only thing that's on that we're all looking forward to.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know if they got anything partner wise planned, and if they do got something partner wise planned, hopefully we see it. If there's no Nintendo Direct this April or anything, there has to be something for the summer. Because once the moment that Nintendo is quiet, I mean, like barely talking, at least until they stroll like a surprise trailer, we're gonna be in darkness for a good while until their next console, until they say something.
Mhm.
And then that's when all the craziness is going to happen. So that's my final thought. I'm excited for what Nintendo got planned. I still need to go get I gotta go get Princess Peach Showtime. I just haven't had the time. I'll probably do it Tuesday. To get it and then play that game and hopefully beat it and stuff. Because I'm super excited for Luigi's Mansion and Paper Mario. I'm super excited about that. So, um, with that, everybody, have a great week. Have a great weekend. If you guys want to wish me a happy birthday, check out at that retro code on Twitter, or check out to us on the Discord, and you can wish me a happy birthday. With that, everybody, have a great week, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time on Nintendo Pow Block. Bye, everybody. Woohoo!
Bye. If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dirrig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtrow. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.